Welcome to Making Our Way Forward, a podcast where we share compelling life stories and learn from the experience of everyday entrepreneurs. At NACCE, we celebrate diversity and invite you to join the conversation as we talk to entrepreneurs and leaders from all walks of life. We hope that by telling their stories, we bring you inspiration, empower you to take action, and ignite entrepreneurship in your community. Welcome to Making Our Way Forward podcast, where we tell the stories of everyday entrepreneurs and leaders in communities everywhere that are doing amazing things to spark entrepreneurship, innovation, and importantly, equity in our communities. So I'm delighted to welcome our guest today, Darrell Tennie, who I happened to meet right here in NACCE's home state of North Carolina. So welcome to the program, Darrell. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Every time I get to talk to people like you, it's a good day. Even though it's a rainy day, it is lots of hope and sunshine. So as we were talking about earlier today, and we'll get into it a little bit more, how you and I had a chance to meet along with some just amazing people in your organization. I wanted to ask you to share a memory maybe of when you were a child or a young adult, something that happened in your life that really got you on the path of where you are today, and tell us a little bit more about what that is.
Well, again, the path that got me on the day was just seeing people trying to start businesses and trying to achieve, alternative careers. And as a young adult, growing up in the rural communities and stuff, and I just saw a lot of people just didn't understand how things worked, and struggles they had in trying to begin the businesses, and a lot of them were closing. So as I went off to school and I went off to college, and I started, understanding and learning business structure, the opportunities of business. My major was agribusiness, and working into the farm communities and stuff. I just saw where there was a need that people need to understand how business and entrepreneurship work, the ins and out of it. So as I began my, career path, and I spent, several, like 20 plus years in corporate America, I just saw that this is something that a lot of people didn't have the exposure to, the understanding of. And so I just saw opportunities to kind of reach back and bring some of that knowledge back to our everyday entrepreneurs and the youth of the day, youth of yesterday, and trying to bring information that could be helpful to them.
That's great. So kind of paying it back and paying it forward at the same
Yes.
time. So tell us, now I'm curious. So you said you spent time in corporate America. What kind of work did you do? And if you don't mind, maybe share a bit about that experience. It seems to have shaped the work that you're doing today.
Well, I actually had a very, very diverse career. Like I say, my undergrad was in agribusiness, but when I, left South Carolina State College, and I went off I worked in companies like Harris Teeter, worked for actual Bojangles restaurants as well. But my best experience was I was with companies like SPX, Roller Bearing Corporation, into manufacturing. I worked for Revlon Cosmetics as well. And my most enjoyable career path was manufacturing. I guess I cut my teeth in manufacturing. When I was basically was a material analyst. In both careers, I was a material planner, material analyst. Basically, my responsibilities was procuring and planning, scheduling as manufacturer, run progress of processes and stuff, manufacture different components. With Revlon Cosmetics, I was in brand where I was a materials planner, where I bought, and planned components to fragrance lines. That gave me a great insight on how process works, how efficiency works. That was one of the things. And being a planner and starting off as an inventory analyst, it gave me opportunities to learn accountability, and so as that, broadened and strengthened my career, that's pretty much what I did. My last job again was I worked with Revlon Cosmetics, and so it was very the opportunity to talk to people from different countries, different manufacturers, different suppliers, different vendors. It just gave me a sense of understanding the global market. It exposed me more to the global market, and so that was a great experience for me. Great experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, what a rich background. And, it struck me when I met you the first time is how curious you are about the world and how things work. And it's not surprising at all that you had a very successful career in
Mhm.
manufacturing and trying to figure out, processes and logistics and all of those things. But when I was listening to you talk too, I think you hit a really good point too about culture. And that's something in my world as the president of NACCE that I spend a lot of time thinking about is what is our aspirational culture? How close are we to getting there? Now, some days we do a fantastic job. Other days we just try to end the day and say we will begin anew tomorrow. But one of the things that struck me as a student of culture is when I had an opportunity to join a Zoom call at the invitation of Representative James Roberson, who has just been appointed to an important seat here in the state of North Carolina, who's a longtime leader at Wake Tech. So I would love for you to talk about how you got connected to him and how we ended up on that call that one day with all these amazing Wake Tech students.
Okay. Well, Representative James Robinson, at that time, he was Mayor Robinson at the time.
Mhm.
I met him through several community events. And once I met Representative Robinson, he told me about what the programs at Wake Tech. As I was telling him, he came as a mayor, he came out and we did a listening tour. He visited my offices and stuff. And I was telling him my desire in which I wanted to educate or train young entrepreneurs. I want to work with business owners. Business owners, we work with all business owners, but we focus a lot in the minority communities in giving them knowledges, giving them education, giving them experiences. And he was telling me about the program about the Wake Tech students. And as I was telling him how I'm trying to diversify my offices and stuff, he was telling me about the opportunity to work with Wake Tech students. So we did kind of what we may want to call a pilot program. And I got hired several of the students. They first mentioned as interns, but I realized that as an undergrad, when I was an undergrad, we want to get paid too as well. And so I pretty much saying, well, we're looking for students that we can hire. We would love to hire them. So they introduced, a couple of students here, and I hired them, and we didn't ever look back. It was just a great experience, working with Representative Robinson. And throughout the different programs, I told them how successful it was. I said, well, do you have more? And so we sat down and started developing a plan and making this program work. And that's how it happened. Meeting him at several of the community events and stuff, and he introduced the opportunity with me to me. And working with the Wake Tech students was very, very rewarding for us. Very rewarding for us.
Yeah, I mean that's really, the entrepreneurial mindset is seeing opportunity where others maybe don't see it. And one of the things I observed about you interacting with the students is how much confidence you have in them. I thought about it, looking at you and experiencing you. You're almost like a coach, like you encourage them, to speak up. You gave them titles where they're not just making coffee or whatever, that they actually are having responsibility for things. And I think of what an impact that is going to make in their lives. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how many students you have right now in your business that you're running, and maybe what are they doing, and kind of maybe share just a little vignette or a little snippet of a story that kind of lets people understand, really how your business model works.
Well, I mean, we have, I think from my understanding at the time, we have probably around about 6 now. Okay. I mean, they're all currently, and some currently one, has already graduated, Wake Tech students. Okay. I start first. We have like Cecilia Rodelas, she's currently a Wake Tech student. Cecilia now is my business development coordinator. We have Miss Anna Sevilla. She's now client relations. She just recently a brand new addition, as well as Nancy. both within the last 2 weeks. We hired two more within in the last two weeks. And Rebecca Teze, she's my payroll administrator. And we have also students who, as they came in, some have came in, some have left, went off. Like we have Tamika, she went off and she's now currently at ECU. But we have them throughout the company. For example, I go back to the senior. When they first came in, all of them came in pretty much starting part time, but now they're all full time students. We gave them opportunities to take the positions and run with them. Okay, and I basically say run with them. They brought a lot of resources to us. The one thing they brought to us was an opportunity to diversify our company and expand operation because they brought technology. But as we work with companies and try to provide technical assistance to them, they were able to bring in the education they have in Wake Tech, the desire they have in Wake Tech, and the willingness to learn. As we put them in positions, we gave them positions, we gave them opportunity, but they all have taken it, learned. You can teach them because they still have the open mind of learning. And so as we teach them the program, we're teaching the process. I say teach, but they also help develop the programs and develop the processes that we have and we need in place to work with our clients throughout the various states we work with. We have offices in multiple states. But from a payroll administrator like Rebecca, from client relations to with like Anna, from business development coordinators like Cecilia, they all have brought just a wealth of resource, a wealth of knowledge, basically a wealth of opportunities for us. And it's actually expanding our operation. It really has expanded our operation.
That's great. And Darrell, what is the product you actually, or the service that you produce, just so people understand kind of what you're selling?
Okay, we're a full-fledged tax and accounting firm. Okay, we work with clients. We have development of client business structures for tax purposes, business structures. We have a payroll department. We have a financial department. We have an insurance division. So our offices, we work with clients throughout multiple states. We have offices in multiple states, but we are a full-fledged tax and accounting firm.
Okay.
But this also acts as our corporate office for the other companies that we actually own as well. But as from a tax and accounting perspective, we work with clients throughout the country. As I stated earlier, we do payroll, we do financials, of course, taxation. But one of the things that we do, we build these companies. We work with companies to help ensure sustainability through accountability. We work with we're very heavy in agriculture. We're very heavy in I'll say, as we say, non-agriculture. We work a lot in the healthcare industries, okay? Because as two of our companies is home healthcare in South Carolina, we work with various markets, whether it be constructions, restaurants, healthcare. But one thing that the students do, they help bring diversity. And one of the diversities that we're very multicultural in this markets we serve. So now with the opportunity, with the cultures that we bring in, we represent our communities. But we bilingual, we speak 4 languages in this office. We speak 4 languages. Wow. So clients love that. We speak, Spanish, we speak French, Arabic, and I always say English. I speak English. So we speak 4 different languages and stuff. So clients like that fact that they can call our office and we can represent them. Our office is very diverse. Clients like the fact that we look like the clients we serve. And so these are things that we do at our tax and accounting firm. Okay. We also we have a crop insurance company. And so one thing about when we work with agriculture, again, we have farmers, we have agricultural industries that comes to us. Again, we're able to work with them in different states. And so the students provide a very enriched culture that they work with as well.
So let's talk a little bit more about diversity. And you had mentioned the DACA program and how that has really helped your business. So explain to people that may not know, what is that program and how has that helped you in your work?
The DACA program is where you sponsor the students who are DACA students and you give them sponsorship. But the DACA program is allowing students to come in and be sponsored, for one. And the second thing is the DACA program has been very, very rewarding for us because of the diversity, bringing understanding different cultures and stuff. It has allowed us to expand our operation in that community, in those communities, because it has been very, very rewarding and giving the students the opportunity to learn things, whether it be culturally or learn things in which we are educating and trying to train, but give them much, much more exposure. So I just want to say that diversity has very, very been strengthened for us by working with the DACA program. So that's been a very excellent program that we look forward to continue working with.
That's great. And I love your passion for working with, and it makes such good business sense working with people from other countries and other cultures. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Helping to bridge that divide.
yeah, that's so interesting. And I think that's great too, that the students have an opportunity to get experience in financial services. As somebody who's worked in nonprofits and education for a long time, sometimes that's the missing link, and I've just, like everyone else in my situation, I think the key to NACCE success has really been a strong financial system. And for me, your students are learning it a lot earlier than I did, but just understanding balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow, instruments like that is really going to position them, for success, regardless if they stay and grow with your company, or they leave and they get mentored by you and start their own business. That the direction is going to be up. I love what you talked about in terms of diversity and how important that is, and I'd like to just have you speak to that a little bit in terms of problem solving and solutions, because what we believe is that if you are going to truly be innovative, you have to have diversity, or you're not going to make the best, probably most creative decisions, because you get into that group think, or, we all have the same experience. So we all, kind of come up with the same answer. And it's great, but sometimes it can be challenging, right? You've got different cultures, people speaking different languages. So
Absolutely.
talk about that.
Well, diversity has given us opportunity, as I said earlier, to expand our market. But one thing it gives us opportunity to service a much broader communities. Okay, coming as we work with that with diversity, it's just as the students, it gives them opportunities to talk to multicultures. It gives them exposure to different things. It's not, like I always say, what they read in a book is not what you're going to see here all the time. You're going to learn it as Wake Tech and the various schools teach you, but we give you the real world experience. Okay, but the biggest thing that we've seen is that it gives us opportunity to network diverse cultures. Okay, and as we work with diverse cultures, we learn the communities, we learn the system, we learn the ways, And so, my experience with diversity has given us an opportunity to reach a much broader market, but be able to communicate better. Okay. But the biggest thing that I like about it, it gives us opportunities to network different cultures, to work together as we have events, as we have programs, as we do Zoom. We have everybody on, but they get to know each other. And so now that it opens a bridge of communication between multiple. It opens up a bridge of communication with diverse markets, diverse businesses, diverse individuals. So the one thing I like about it is the bridge it gives us to open up a much broader area of communication.
Yeah, that's so well said. And I hear you saying the power of networks. And I think about that, people that I've mentored in my life and opportunities that have come into my world that have been amazing. Many of them came through, meeting someone for a cup of coffee, or taking the time to just put yourself out there. The producer of our podcast, Natalia Berezhna, I met her at an event because she sat at my table, and literally we were doing a national search for a job, and she sat right next to me and said, "Oh, do you want me to take a picture and put out some social media?" I didn't even know what her name was. And so I, like you, Darrell, I really trust in serendipity, and it doesn't, even for, challenging projects that we're looking at taking on, sometimes we don't know the solutions when we raise our hand, but we think we're going to figure it out. And I have seen certainly that spirit of the Wake Tech students and faculty that I've had the delight of coming in contact with. As you may know, we lease our office space from Wake Tech, so we feel very much a part of that community, and they've been very welcoming to us. And I think myself, just having that opportunity to interact with students that have big dreams, and sometimes their dreams aren't big enough, that people like you and people like me can help people to think bigger dreams and to try to help them on the path to get there. All of that being said, all of us have gone through tremendous challenge, some to greater degrees than others, with this pandemic that we thought was waning, that all of a sudden we're finding is coming back in a more ferocious manner, particularly to community and people that are not vaccinated. Tell us a little bit about how you as a business leader kind of weathered, the storm in your own organization, how you handled that. And then, maybe if you have some suggestions for people that might be listening that are trying to, think about how to keep themselves and their communities safe.
Well, one of the things we put a lot of precautionary practice in place. One, we instituted that people must wear a mask that come into office. Okay, one of the things that I am proud to say, 90% of my office, 95% of my office is fully vaccinated. Okay, but we try to practice. We make sure we practice social distancing. When clients come into office, we basically do screening when they come in. We were checking their temperatures and stuff. We have never had a problem. Only one, kind of resistant to the mask, and so we politely let them know that, if we need to continue their service to protect our staff and protect them as well, and protect our staff and their families, we had to mandate a wear a mask. So after that, we didn't have any problems with any one of that. But we just put, we try to, adhere to whatever the CDC guidelines are, and we try to put those in place. And I've encouraged my staff, which they have failed through with it, they followed through and got vaccinated. But I just want to make sure that we protect our staff by mandating masks, practice social distancing, and we try to limit the number of people in the office at one time. And what we did implement it was we tried to do more work by social media. We did more work by Zoom. We have a lot of electronic programs in place that we can email, transmit. When I put more secure devices in place, encryptions in place, we already had it, but we enhanced that, so we can do a lot of work, a lot of e-work. Okay, and clients were very receptive of that. They like the fact that they didn't have to come in. We can send them information. We did a lot of e-docking, so it allowed us to bring more technology in place that we could do it more remotely. At the same time, having those Wake Tech students who understood technology way more than I do, who understood technology, it gave us an opportunity to implement those technological programs that they understood. So again, just bringing those students in who understood that technology made us much, much better.
I think what you're saying, Darrell, is just so important. It's recognizing that it's not just age, because they don't have decades of experience in corporate America. They don't, they didn't have all the responsibility that you had, experience in agriculture. But you as a leader identified in them something that you didn't know about. And I put myself in that same category, that I like technology, but I tend to not be the first one to adopt it. I'll see if it works. And then once I get in there, I learn how to use it. But you just think of, the generation of students that have not grown up without it. They don't know what it's like not to have a phone. They can take their class on their phone. They can do everything on their phone. So it's definitely a new world, and I'm just really excited that you're in this community. I was at a chamber board meeting this morning over in Cary, and they were talking about kind of going back to this, mandatory of wearing masks, and really urging everyone that we can to get vaccinated. The most vulnerable groups right now are children. Even in the town of Cary, which is huge, 80% of the population is vaccinated. So they're guessing about 20% are children. So I think what you said in terms of keeping your employees safe, it's good for business, it's good for public health, shouldn't really be controversial, right? If we are caring for one another, that's the right thing to do. And your students certainly understand that. They're well taken care of here at Wake Tech. I can vouch for that. But As our time is running short, I could talk to you all day long because I enjoy hearing your stories and just have appreciated you sharing them. Darrell, why don't you leave us with just a closing thought about, when you look to the future and we imagine a world where, that we've got this pandemic under control, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward for people to start rebounding and progressing. I'm looking for people to start feeling better about themselves. I'm looking for people who have businesses, who want businesses, or people who are looking for careers. The opportunities will be there for them. Okay, and I just hope that once this pandemic is over, we see that it affects the whole world, not only one population. It affects the entire population. So I look at the fact that we can dream bigger, we dream better. We can now open back up and be more inclusive, with each other because we've been separated for so long. So it's bringing us back together now. And so as we round this curve and hopefully, get this thing back under control so we can start back moving forward again, it just gives us a bigger and better insight, on all opportunities that are out there for all of us. And so that's one of my things I dream for, just to working together, the whole world working together as one unit.
That's a beautiful sentiment. It reminds me of one of my favorite people, Mr. Rogers, Mr. Fred Rogers. And
Yeah.
I think talking to you, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, even though it is raining and we certainly have some scary times ahead. But I think with the good people of the world really embracing the fact that as horrific as it's been, this pandemic has really given us the opportunity to understand each other and to be more empathetic. So thank you, Darrell. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that I can see you soon and give
I look forward to it.
your employees our best. We're really proud of them and look forward to you hiring even more of them in the future.
Well, we'll bring them on. They helped me grow. We were looking for to hire more. We want more and more of them.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that listening to this podcast will help you to explore the many ways we might define entrepreneurship. Join us every other Wednesday for more episodes as we celebrate opportunity, learn from one another, and grow together. Subscribe to this podcast, connect with us on social media, and learn more about today's speakers at NACCE.com/podcast. We look forward to making our way forward together with you.
Have you heard about our latest book, Impact Ed: How Community College Entrepreneurship Creates Equity and Prosperity? This is our roadmap for building back better in 50 states and globally. In each chapter, we share the inspiring stories of everyday entrepreneurs and explain how community colleges play a crucial role in their success. Visit us at NACCE.com/impacted to order your copy now and join us in this work.